Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Social Cafe. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today, we are going to be discussing YouTube monetization. It's myself, I'm Ileane Smith, my co host, Deborah Anderson, also known as Social Web Cafe. And we have a guest speaker. Her name is Sue Ann from Right Mix for Business. So let's get into it. And I wanted to start off by talking about the mindset before anyone gets started with monetizing their YouTube channel or any platform for that matter. I want us to take a little step back. First, I always say this: establish a goal. So you say you want to monetize your channel. How much money do you want to make? And what is your deadline? So those are a couple things that you may want to think about before you even embark on this whole endeavor of monetizing your YouTube channel. One of the reasons why we decided to talk about YouTube, it goes without saying, or maybe it doesn't go without saying, which is why I'm going to say it. When it comes to content creators and the platforms that we get to choose from, where we want to put our content, I think the most creator friendly platform is YouTube. It is one where you can get discovered, you can put that content out there, and you can put it out in different formats. You've got the horizontal, you've got your shorts, you've even got a community tab you can use. If you just want to write, you can go live, which is one of my favorite things to do. You can put your podcast on YouTube and you can monetize it in other ways, with such as the affiliate program, as selling merchandise, memberships. There is just a list that goes on and on and on. And here's why I talk about setting goals and why I think this is important. I don't want you to bite off more than you can chew. You have to set the expectations of what you can handle.
Miss Eileen, you're doing a wonderful job. In fact, you just listed a whole bunch of I had a list of ways to make, money on YouTube, and I think you covered them in this wonderful, like, seamless bulleted list. So, I'm really enjoying as usual, I'm enjoying listening to you. So, go for it, keep going.
And just so you'll know, that's off the dome. I don't that none of that is written on my notes.
Yes, oh, wow, wow, there
but,
we go.
but this next piece is written in my notes. And here's what I want all of us to do. I want you to do a self assessment and ask yourself, what is my capacity? What value do I have to offer that is unique or at least special that will attract an audience? And the reason why I want you to do this assessment, because you have to determine like how much of yourself you are willing to give to put into this effort of monetizing your channel, and how much do you have. Like, you may be lacking some skills, right? You Some people don't like being on camera, some people don't have feel like they have the right tag, they think they need to go out and spend a lot of money buying lights and mics and all this good stuff, which you don't. If you have a phone, you're really good to go. Well, a modern phone. Let me clarify.
Not a flip phone from the '80s or so, no.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but it's about, assessing yourself and saying, I'll give you a perfect example. I have a friend, her name is Brittany, and Brittany has just crossed 1,000. I'm sorry, I take that back. 1,600,000 subscribers. And I'll give you her channel handle. Her channel handle is Dr. Fashion.
Wow.
It's the word doctor spelled out, DOCTOR fashion. And I have sat in on a couple of her workshops, and I've known her for a while. Um, hi David, how are you? I met her over on Clubhouse, and just brilliant. Brittany's brilliant, and she's developed this strategy with YouTube shorts, and she takes on clients, and she's even her clients are reaching higher heights. So anyway, I talked about her in one of my last live streams. And so I tagged her in the description. And so she came over, said, thank you. And she left me a strategy. And she said, this is what she tells her clients: to commit to a 30 or 60-day challenge of doing vertical live streams. And I love Brittany, and I think that what she just that strategy is brilliant. But I know I'm not going to do it.
That I was just going to say, Miss Ileane, that would
I know I'm
certainly
not going to
be
do
a
it.
challenge.
And maybe I'm not saying I'll never ever do it, but like right now, that's not on my agenda because I know my capacity. I have a full-time job. Okay. I have other things that go on in my life where I don't feel that I have the capacity to go live every day for 30 days. Now, with that said, I want y'all to know I put my time in. I went live for over 380 days in a row. No, let me say that again. I've gone live for over 380 days in a row, nonstop. So, in my mind, I'm done with challenges. There's no challenge that anybody could give me that I'll be like, oh my God. No, I've been there and I've done that. And
You
so,
paid your dues. You've done that.
and even though, like I said, I know this strategy, so this is what I want you all to think. And I'm not saying any of this to brag. All I'm saying is this is what you have to do. You have to be realistic with yourself. You have to set your own mindset, know your capacity. What are you willing to give up? Now, for me, my goal on YouTube for a long time was to reach 10,000 subscribers. Well, I'm like 12,000 now. Am I going for 100,000 subscribers? Nope.
You're being realistic within
I'm
within
being
your yep,
realistic.
yep.
Not saying that it would never happen because my circumstances may change. Maybe I will retire from my day job. Who knows? Okay. But right now, that's just not something that I want to do. And I have other, I do my Amazon influencer thing. And so a lot of these platforms really want you to be dedicated to that platform. They want your life to be surrounded by, your day to day, your daily task. You get up every day and say, what am I going to post on YouTube? Or what am I going to work on with my YouTube video? Or how am I going to grow my channel? Or whatever. And I've just used YouTube as an example, but it could be the same thing with Instagram. What stories am I going to post? What reels am I going to post today? Am I going to film today, or am I going to edit today? They are very, very demanding.
Well, then you can feel guilty about I mean, for me personally, it's like I'll be doing that and doing that and do that, and then I miss a day, and it's like, "Oh, no, I feel so guilty because I didn't do this." And then pretty soon it's like, "Oh, no, I feel guilty because I didn't do it for 2 days. Oh, no, I didn't do it for 3 days." And pretty soon I'm burned out because not because I didn't do it or because I was doing it, but because the guilt starts to pile on. I'm just one of these people who starts to get this guilt trip, and I'm burned out from the guilt. And it's like, you know, "Honey, you don't have to be that guilty." You just get out there and do it when you feel like doing it. So I love your approach, Miss Ileane, because set the goal that works for you rather than piling on too much.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we see a lot of
Hey
creators
guys,
getting burnt out. Now, I mean, be honest. I got to be honest. I'm not as young as I used to be. Now, if you're listening to this and you're a lot younger than me, or you're maybe a lot more physically active than I am, so maybe you were like, okay, so you got a full-time job and you finish that job, work on your channel for 8 hours. I'm not going to do that, but maybe you will. And that's all I'm saying is to take a self assessment and know what your capacity is and what you're willing to do. What about you, Deborah? Have you monetized your YouTube? I'm not sure if you have or not.
Not as much as I know I could, and
Okay.
mostly because of those boundaries and things, and I push and push, and then I realize that the health part gets tripped because I'm starting to learn the last couple of years that I really have to pay attention to the health, that when the body says, "This is enough," that's enough, and I've even had that in this particular event here, so it's like, "Okay, I gotta be listening to the body," so I'm really proud of myself in that area because I'm listening more, and it actually feels good to get to know your I mean, I know this is not the topic, but I mean to get to know your body, and it feels healthy to listen to your body. So I'm feeling good about where I'm at in that space. But that means I'm doing less as far as the video part. So not quite as much monetization as I'd like to, but I think that's gonna increase as I learn to kind of balance the two.
Absolutely. And we see this a lot. Earlier this year, a lot of full-time YouTubers with big channels, like millions of subscribers, said they were burnt out and they quit YouTube. Some of them were just doing that for clickbait, but a lot of them really were, they quit YouTube. It was just too much to keep up with, always getting better and better. Like once you have established your channel and you've reached that goal that you wanted to reach, how do you like either maintain that or go to the next goal and the next goal and the next goal? And so your videos just have to keep getting bigger and more interesting and more this and more that. And so a lot have suffered from burnout. Some have, maybe after they took a break, they've come back and all that. But I just want people to be realistic with themselves.
but I was going to just comment on Miss Eileen's earlier thoughts about the challenge of doing 60 days of shorts. That would certainly, in my world, be a challenge because I don't think that I'm cut out. But I did hear something interesting on this very topic because YouTube extending to the 3 minute deadline for shorts versus the 1 minute. I heard Chris Stone and James Hicks talking about it, and they were like, baby, do your thing and admit it. We could use a little more than a minute sometimes for those shorts. So do whatever fits. You don't have to use up the whole 3 minutes. If you don't want to do shorts, don't do them. Do what works for you, for your people, your channel, your everything.
Absolutely. But I just
I
want to
like that.
clarify, her advice was about vertical live streams, not doing 60 days of shorts. 60 days
Oh,
going
when you said
live.
vertical, I was thinking shorts. Aha.
Vertical live streams, because that was the topic of the conversation, is that I haven't seen that success with the vertical live streams, but I know that some of Dr. Fashion, some of her clients have seen that success with shorts combined with the vertical live streams.
Are you doing that on TikTok? Is what I'm wondering. Like vertical lives.
No, 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 this is all YouTube. Dr. Fashion is you may have missed this. She has 1.6 million subscribers on YouTube, and she grew by about a million subscribers. I didn't say this earlier, in a 60-day period.
Wow.
And it was because of shorts and vertical live streams. but she tells her clients, and she left a comment over on my YouTube video. Um, I'm sure I've shared that video on my timeline, but she left a comment. That's what she tells her clients to do: 30 to 60-day challenge. And I thought that's brilliant. I wish that I had the capacity or felt so inclined to do that. And, if I were a full-time creator or if I was 25 years old, I probably, or even 45 years old, I probably would
We're
do it.
left out.
But I have to have my naps and I have to be in bed by 7, which is when probably these people don't even start their live streams until 9 or 10 o'clock in my time zone. And, when I would go, even when I did that, I told you guys I was doing over a year of going live every day. Most of those live streams were between 4 and 5 a.m.
I
So
can
you
see
can
So
that.
imagine.
I'm wondering if the live streaming idea is a spin-off of TikTok live streaming because that's vertical. That I think that's what I was trying to
No, actually, YouTube had
wonder.
that. That is one thing that YouTube had way before TikTok. You could always go live on your phone on YouTube, but for years before TikTok was even a thing.
The Google
People,
Hangouts and everything before they had the
yeah, people weren't doing it. Don't get me wrong, Sue Ann. They may be pushing it because of TikTok. You're onto something there, but it's not a spinoff of TikTok. It's been years that you've been able to go live from your phone. The same way you can go live on Twitter from your phone. You've been able to do that for years before TikTok was even like what it is today. But yeah, TikTok made these things popular, um, a lot more popular, I should say. Different segments and different parts of the world, it's always been popular on YouTube, like especially places where they have like low bandwidth. There's a lot of places around the world where they don't even have computers. The typical YouTuber doesn't even have a computer. That's all they have is their phone, and it's mostly an Android phone, right? So this has been going on for a long, long, long time. It's just that right now, people think about TikTok live, and I've gone live. Now, I'm glad you brought that up because even though that's not our topic today, I just want to tell you, if you're going to use TikTok and you're going to think about going live over there, you can grow your TikTok account with doing that. However, unless you have a PC, so if you have a PC, you can install the TikTok live software on your computer. But like I'm a Mac user, I think Deborah is also a Mac user. Sue
Yep.
Ann, I think you do have the PC, but you install that on your computer. But here's the thing, the live doesn't last. There's no replay. You get who you
Oh,
get
I hate
when
that.
you're live. But they push it. TikTok pushes it, right? Because that increases watch time because most people are on TikTok just scrolling, 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 scrolling. But a live stream, people will stop and watch and engage and give flowers or hearts or whatever. You can tap on the screen and do all kinds of things, which I haven't figured them all out. But I've gone live maybe 6 or 7 times over there. And I always say, boy, I should have recorded that also on my computer while I was live. And a couple of times I was able to download the recording, but the sync is always off. It's always like a low quality recording. So there's that. So
Now,
let's
What
talk.
are you
what is
what are you
that?
using to record?
Beg your pardon?
What are you using to record it?
Your phone. Like I said, because I can't do the thing with the app on my computer, but I can go live on TikTok on my phone. And then they
And then
do
and
they
then you
do
record it.
No, they do give you. Oh, what would I use to record it if I were
Yeah.
in a perfect world? I
Yeah.
would use Ecamm, but then I would have this stupid phone in front of my face.
I gotcha.
So it's just kind of like, oh yeah, I need to figure out a setup, and then it's kind of like, well, it's not really worth it. Why don't I just go live on YouTube?
What about a screen capture? Like having it, watching it on the screen on the Mac using the Ecamm and then actually doing it on your phone.
Yeah, but you still have to hold the phone up so people who are watching your live on TikTok can see you.
Right, right.
So you still have
But
to have.
then I mean you're watching it as if you're actually like just visiting on TikTok. So then you're doing a screen capture on the TikTok as a TikTok user, but then you're actually capturing it on the phone. So it's like you're two different users.
Okay, here's the
I know
problem. I
I
know.
think
All
going
right,
somewhere.
let's just do it real. Let's just do it real quick. Let's just do it real quick. Normally, and when you can do that, and I tried that. It's a brilliant idea, Deborah. Because guess what? I tried it. But when you do that, there are so many things that TikTok puts on the screen
Oh.
that it is unbelievable. First of all, it's almost like if you're live, you must be care about gaming. So there's gaming notifications at the top, and then there's goals. Do you want to reach this goal? So
I
then there's
gotcha.
another. There's like eight. No exaggeration. There's got to be at any given moment 18 things on the screen. All right, maybe that is a little exaggeration. I'll say a dozen things on the screen. So it wasn't worth it. And in fact, I recorded it because I thought, oh, I'll do a tutorial about how to go live on TikTok, and I'll use my Ecamm. I got my tools, right? And I'll do. Yeah, it was. I didn't even publish it. I was like, this is ridiculous. Half of the stuff you.
I was
And,
thinking edit it and I'm
I'm
like,
worried
oh no.
about operating the 5 things on StreamYard, and she's got all that going on.
oh no, you don't get me wrong. That's there on the screen. I can't even read this stuff. So I don't even know what half of it is. Even when I watched back that thing that I recorded on Ecamm, I still was confused. Like, well, what is that? Even now I can see it and I can read it. I still don't know what it is because nobody has a tutorial on doing this stuff. It's so crazy. So anyway, all right. So let's get back to YouTube because there's a really important thing that I wanted to say is, and people say this all the time, one thing they wish they knew when they got started: build your email list. Your email list. This is going to be the golden ticket to your monetization because there's so many things that you can do on YouTube. But one thing that you can't really do right now, even though they do have these features coming that may make this better, but right now, if you want to have dialogue with your actual fans or your subscribers or your community, you can do that with email by asking questions, asking people to reach out to you and let you know because people are not going to always post on YouTube because they know other people can see it, right? There's no direct message system inside of YouTube either, like there is on other platforms.
That's a good point.
So, yeah, so build your email list. And this is how you also not only get to know your audience, but you'll also have that opportunity to make offers. Whatever your offer is, whether it's you're selling an affiliate product, you have your own product, you've got merchandise, you've got something you want them to listen to, your podcast, maybe, all those things that you can do through your email list, and you don't have to worry about distractions. So I
I'm
know.
struggling to build my email list, Ileane. I'm struggling. I keep asking people. I have a lead magnet, but I don't know. Maybe I need a new approach.
Yeah, and that sometimes that's exactly what's needed is a different approach and a different multiple lead magnets until you find the one that resonates with that audience and understanding exactly who it is you're talking to. And that's something that's a challenge for a lot of people, and social media helps with that. Social media can help you with figuring out who it is that you're talking to because you can look at your demographics. Even on YouTube, you can look and see, your viewers, male or female, or what country are they in, or various things that you can see in terms of your demographics, and that may help you along the way. And sometimes you have to put a little ad spend behind it. And you just have to make sure that you're advertising in the right place so you don't waste a lot of money.
Good point. And if
But,
you do find a video that's really popular, you can also, put up a one page with that video. That's kind of your own little lead magnet that way with a
mhm,
subscribe
Oh,
page.
that's a neat idea.
yes. Yeah, we have so many tools. And yeah, so think about monetizing your YouTube channel beyond AdSense or before AdSense. Because remember, I was talking about in the beginning, what's your goal and do you have a deadline? I remember, the eligibility has changed a lot on YouTube for the YouTube Partner Program. But I remember when I first got monetized on YouTube, so we're talking years ago, it took me probably a couple of years before I even got my first payout. Okay, so don't just think, oh, I want to get my channel monetized. Yes, you reached all these eligibility requirements, 1,000 this and 4,000 this, or whatever the requirements are, because they often change them. But now also, how much money are you planning on making? Okay, because the day you get monetized, you're not going to make a whole lot of money unless you're like on a rocket ship with your growth. And so you have to keep that in mind as well. Hello, Sign Culture. Thanks for joining us today. So I found an article, and I actually did not share this article on Twitter yet, so I can't like pin it up into the nest. But it's from a site that's called Impact.
But she'll have it in the show notes, right? So
Yeah,
so people can come back
absolutely.
later. Yep.
Absolutely. It's called Impact. Impact.com is an affiliate marketplace where they merge brands with affiliates. Okay. And they talk about influencers. And this is called How Much Do Influencers Charge Per Post? Now, this is really interesting because what they did was the first thing they did was break down what are the different tiers of influencers. Okay. And you don't have to remember any of this because, like I said, it's in the article, but I just want to give you an idea. They have nano influencers. I'll start with that because I think this is where we all fall in this category of under 15,000 followers. Okay, now think about all of your channels combined. All right. Then they have a micro influencer, which is 15 to 75. Mid tier influencers, 75 to 250. Macro, 250 to 1 million. Mega or celebrities, 1 million plus followers. Okay. So that's the first thing they did. They broke them down into those different tiers. And like I said, that wasn't for you to like get stuck on the numbers, just so you know that they have these different tiers. Because the next thing that they did was take different platforms and say how much people are charging brands for content on those platforms. So, how much are you charging for an Instagram post? How much are you charging for a TikTok video? And so, one of the things they did is YouTube. So, here I'm going to read this from the before I even tell you the prices. YouTube pricing is higher and more fragmented than other media because video content is more time consuming and expensive to produce than images or word based posts. YouTube sponsorships include integrated videos or dedicated videos. In an integrated video, your brand, product, or service features in a portion of the video. So there's all different flavors of deliverables that we as influencers can provide to brands. Okay, you get that? It could be an integrated video, a brand, a product video, a service featured in a portion of the video. On the other hand, dedicated videos showcase your brand, product, or service in the entire video. Okay, so here's what the average YouTube sponsored video will cost. So remember, nano influencers are the ones that are under 15,000 followers. For a nano influencer, the cost would be from 1,000 to 2,500. So if you were to look at like your email list, your followers on Facebook, or if you have a Facebook page, or LinkedIn, TikTok, you add them all up. That's why it's so important to build these followings, because this is another actually easier way to make money. Because trust me, making $1,000 on YouTube, if you only have, or I shouldn't say if you only have, but if you have 15,000 followers, that's not easy. But to do a dedicated video, or to have a video sponsor and say, this video is sponsored by such and such. Well, actually, this Twitter Spaces is sponsored by Social Web Cafe, right? And so that's at the lower tier. Mind you, I didn't make up these tiers. I'm just reading from this article from Impact. All right. Then a micro influencer from 2,500 to 9,000. Mid-tier, 9,000, 25,000. Macro, 25,000 to 49,000. Celebrity, 49,000 plus. And we're just talking about one piece of content. Or maybe you do make a package deal with them, right? For this, let's just talk about our nano influencers, right? From $1,000 to $2,500. You make a package deal with a brand. Let's say this is your favorite brand, or a brand that you use all the time. Let's say for me, it would be somebody like Logitech, because I use the mouse, or Shure, because I use their mic, or Stream Deck, because I use that, right? Now, they have a bunch of influencers always promoting their stuff. But let's just say they decided they were going to do this campaign with nano influencers just to supplement what they're doing already with the celebrities and the macro influencers. And this campaign I could put together and say, I'll mention you as a sponsor on my videos. I will do at least one tutorial. Then I'll post it on my Facebook page. I have like 11,000 followers over there. And then I can do this, and this. And I'll write a blog post. Okay. And I'll mention it in my newsletter. So when we talk about monetizing your YouTube channel, YouTube may be the vehicle that gets you discovered by a brand. But that doesn't mean that your monetization is limited to only what goes down on YouTube. What do you think, Deborah?
I love it. That is so encouraging, and I think it would encourage a lot of people, especially those who love making videos and love editing videos and live stream, anything video related. That gives them a lot of hope for what they can do with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, Sue Ann, you got any thoughts on that?
I was thinking about our friend Stephanie Garcia because I just interviewed her talking about influencer marketing, and she pointed out those very groups and how you can really truly get creative. And if you've ever listened, I did an article recently from Justin Moore, and he was talking about how to make your sponsorship kind of like a wheel where you really tailor and make custom sponsorship packages to really deliver what that particular client is looking for. He points out that different clients want different things, and video production for some clients is more important than sales. Just to get some of that video production and some of that stuff that they can use on their social channels and all that. So it's an interesting thing. He talks about like follow up and about like giving them results along the way and nurturing them so that sponsor becomes an ongoing repetitive stream of income as well. So there's a lot of customer care involved in creating those really special great relationships with sponsors, in my opinion, and from what I learned with Stephanie and Ileane and all of you guys.
I am so glad that you brought up those two people, and I'm going to write the second one down because I'm going to talk about the first one first. You mentioned the book. Stephanie Garcia co-authored the book with Eric Bateau, and it's called The Ultimate Guide to Influencer Marketing. Fit your business with the right type of influencers, grow your brand with micro influencer marketing, measure and maximize ROI for your small business. And so this is a phenomenal book. And Sue Ann did an amazing interview with Stephanie over on her YouTube channel. So definitely uh, we make sure that we will add that to the show notes as well. I'm writing that down. And
Thank you so kindly.
yeah, oh, it was one of my favorite interviews. And Sue Ann's, let me write Sue Ann's interview because I'll look later and say interview. What that mean? Sue Ann's interview with Stephanie. Okay. And also, I am so glad you brought up Justin Moore because I just watched one of his videos and I left him a comment. Normally, I don't watch a lot of his videos because he does specifically talk about brand deals. And I like the concept of brand deals and I'm suggesting them to you all because almost all of my Amazon influencer friends are doing brand deals. But as I told you all at the beginning of this show, capacity. Ileane has to think about her capacity. You probably have more capacity than I do. All right. So I know that dealing with brands takes time. You got to nurture relationships. And there are some brands that I have relationships with. Don't get me wrong. I don't totally ignore that whole concept. But Justin did this video that was talking about 8 brands that you should be pitching this fall. And not only did he talk about the specific brands, he talked about the campaigns that he's been able to determine that they were working on just from going to their social media. And it was such an amazing video because he gave you insights on how to find out what the brands want, like Sue Ann was just saying. So if you see that the brand just came out with a new product, or the brand has a new a contest or something coming up, or some of your other influencer friends have been getting deals with this brand. So you kind of have this inkling of, okay, this brand wants people who are doing this, or they want to focus on this campaign. So then when you're do your pitch.
Stephanie even mentioned jacking brands out of her ads that are aimed at her, right? So
Mhm.
that was one of her tricks too. Like, how do you know that you would represent the brand? Well, if they're targeting you for specific ads, you might just be their perfect customer, i.e. their perfect influencer, because you're in their demographic. So what she's even done is when they're targeting her for ads with certain products and she thinks she can work with them, she already, like you said, it's like investigating the opening prior to making the contact. So you already have an idea of what they're up to, what their latest thing is, and who they're marketing to. When they're marketing to you and you fit it, you might just be the right influencer. And that was a back door to what you're talking about with Justin.
Yes, absolutely. Let's see if I can see. Yep, here it is. The 8 brands you'd be foolish. Oh, he knows how to work that title. 8 brands you'd be foolish not to pitch in October. Now, this is important for, YouTube monetization, because you don't have to be in the YouTube partner program in order to pitch brands. If brands see that, you've got a channel, maybe it's smaller. Even we were talking earlier about the nano influencers, 15,000. It could be even smaller than that. That's just some numbers that Impact put on. But you could have 500 subscribers, but you've got engagement, you've got people commenting, you've got likes, or whatever the case may be. Or, as I mentioned earlier, you look at the totality of all your networks combined. And if you still feel like, okay, all my networks combined are still not getting the numbers that I want, then you know what you need to work on. You know
I,
what you
I
need to
was
work
I
on.
was teasing Stephanie, even though I probably make the numbers for a nano. I was teasing her that I was probably a nano.
Yeah. And also consider what skills you may be lacking in order to reach that. So maybe there's some training that you need. Because, we all feel like we're smart, we're wonderful, we're amazing. but but
I critique every one of my things. Like every time I go live, I critique myself and like kind of jot down things I think I can improve on. And I try to look at that rule that someone threw out whenever, that if you can improve by like 1% each show, like if you have some little improvement each show, that is still progress. So I don't like overwhelm myself with my own critique.
Mhm, mhm, yeah. And he goes into detail about how he's able to determine why this specific brand is one that he thinks, people would be foolish not to um pitch. Let's see. There's a few that I'm actually just going to scrub through the video to see if I can figure out if I remember what was he talking about. Oh, one was Pandora, the jewelry line, Pandora. And I think this is the one where he went to their website and he saw what they were focused on their website and some of the other influencers that they've been working with. And so that they have this 10% discount for students. So the recommendation in that case was to talk about how you've got a lot of followers that are students or a lot of subscribers that are in that demographic. And you would love to pitch this 10% program. Like it's just something that's there in their footer of their website, but it's probably something that they would be willing to, like, hey, this creator is coming to us saying they have this demographic. And especially if you're already doing jewelry or fashion or what have you. So I love the video, even though I wouldn't pitch any of these specific brands that he talked about. It was the tips of knowing why. Like one of them was Dr. Pepper. I wouldn't ever go to Dr. Pepper, because that means I probably would have to drink a Dr. Pepper, and I ain't gonna do that. But maybe some of you will. So anyway, these are the people that can steer you in the right direction. So I'm glad you brought both of them up, Suanne. Justin Moore and Stephanie Garcia. Shout out to them. I've talked about Dr. Fashion. And so Deborah, let's hear. Do you have someone that you would like to recommend or give a shout out to or that you've learned from?
I know, recommended him, I think it was, last month, but I've really been learning a lot from Arlen Hamilton. So, I joined her membership, her, community, and she is just a wealth she has a wealth of information. She is so inspiring. So I put together just like a quick post, included her video that talks about her membership and so forth. And you can find out more information on my website if you go to it's actually a quick link at socialweb.cafe, which will then take you to my website. But that's kind of like the little short link or pretty link, whatever, socialweb.cafe takes you directly to that little article that talks about her community, and then on there it takes you to the community where you can read more, and there's a video there and talks about it. But she is man, she knows how to pull out information, how to encourage other people to share tips. People are sharing tips in that community. So it's not just Arlen, it's like her ability to bring the right people into the community. And there's a lot of tips about YouTube. That's why I was mentioning her for this particular topic. There's a gal in there that was sharing her thumbnails that she came up with. And so all of us, it's just a really loving sharing community. We were all, making comments on, hey, we like this thumbnail better than this one, or this one better than this one, and going back and forth and so forth. And it's just such a warm, inviting community. So you definitely, yes, it costs money for the community, but you get, million times more than what you what you're paying.
Awesome,
Got
awesome.
to keep learning. I love that. I love that you find inspiration in learning, and that's something I think we all should do. It's very good for all of us, and it keeps us going. It keeps us informed. It keeps us really into and interested in all this digital fun and games.
Yeah, and Arlen has a book, and it's called Your First Million: Why You Don't Have to Be Born into a Legacy of Wealth to Leave One Behind. And I
Love that
mentioned
title.
I mentioned before when when Deborah talked about her that she's from Philly. And so that's one of the reasons why I heard about her before.
I forgot
And
about that because now she's a Los Angelian. So it's like, hey, both our cities. There we go.
yeah,
Kudos.
so let me just read you this one little sentence. One of the few Black women to break into the boys' club of Silicon Valley offers her secrets for how anyone can build a legacy of wealth and impact.
Yes, kudos.
Yep. And it's
Yep,
also available on Audible.
yep.
Yeah.
I think
So,
I did get her Audible I just got her book. It just showed up last week because I was like, I'm going to her conference so I can ask her to sign it because it wasn't that she has a couple books. Is it 2 or 3 books? I haven't gotten all the books yet, but I got
oh,
the other book.
I'm too busy buying the Audible, so I didn't
Right,
I can't
right,
click
right.
2 buttons at once.
But it's like I wanna go find her and say, "Hey, can you sign this one?" And she's so, approachable. I love that, she's not over there like, bitter against because there's still, the discrimination out there, especially I find that even being a woman, it's like, "You don't know anything, you're a female." It's like, just, I won't say what I 'cause this is a recording, but it's like, it's like, "Come on, don't judge me because of gender, don't judge because of race." Don't I love the fact that Arlen is not, but she's just such a warm person. I mean, I just can't say enough good things about her.
Oh, I'm glad, I'm glad. I'm glad you found her and that she inspires you, and I just wanna spell it really quickly in case somebody actually doesn't read the show notes, although I recommend that you do. It's Arlen, it's Arlan. So it's Arlen Hamilton. So really quickly before we close out and we all say where how you can connect with us, I want you all to listen to a podcast episode. And this podcast is one that I subscribe to and it comes out every Friday. It's called Creator Upload and it's Josh Cohen from Tube Filter and Lauren Schnipper are the hosts. And these guys have been around the creator economy for a long, long, long time. And they are so connected that they literally had YouTube's global head of creators, and her name is Kim Larson, Larson. Kim Larson. They had her on for an interview, which was absolutely fabulous. Anybody who cares anything about YouTube should listen to that interview. And if you can get any other content where Kim Larson is featured, because that's my next thing I'm going to do is start researching Kim Larson. But Lauren, one of the hosts, asked her what is kind of like her metric for success with this job that she has with YouTube. And she said two things: grow creator watch time and grow creator earnings. Earnings. I love, love, love. I automatically fell in love with her when I heard her saying that on the podcast. And that was at the very beginning. This was like one of the very first questions. Actually, it was the second question. But yeah, it's unbelievable that YouTube has someone who is, like I said, she's the global head. And it's not like she just came across this job last week. She's been doing this for a long time. Okay. And this is what YouTube is focused on because they want creators on the platform to be happy.
Yep.
Because they want us
And
to
we
know.
want to be happy.
And they want us to know that YouTube is your home. Like you can go and visit over there on TikTok and you can spend some time, maybe put your feet up over on Facebook, but YouTube is your home.
Amen.
Okay, it's where your
We
bread
can
and butter
chat in a
comes.
space, but we have to go home to YouTube. Gotcha.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so this has been so, so much fun. And I would love, we're just going to all sign off now. So, Sue Ann, please tell everyone where they can find you, how they can connect with you, and how you can help.
I I am so helpful. I help in so many different ways. Writing is my superpower, but on the internet, that can go in so many great ways. I do a lot of ghostwriting for business accounts and so forth, email marketing, um, lead magnet design and creation, writing, ghost stuff. I do all kinds of stuff, but just hit me up on here on Twitter or on LinkedIn or on my YouTube channel, which is at Sue Ann, SUE hyphen ANN, just to throw people off. My first name has a hyphen, it's one name. And I appreciate you letting me chat with you, lovely people, today.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And Deborah.
And we appreciate you too, Sue Ann. So thank you. And
Yes.
thank you, Miss Ileane. You can find me pretty much anywhere at Social Web Cafe. I
Awesome.
think I've been able, even though I haven't gotten my Deborah info everywhere for my singer account, think I have gotten Social Web Cafe everywhere that I've attempted. At least there might be a few platforms that I missed, but whenever I've tried to, I've gotten it. So anywhere you look, you can the crazy redhead. That's that's me.
All right. And I'm your other co host. I'm Ileane, and I'll spell it because that's the most important thing to know how to spell my name. And that's Ileane. And on Twitter, that's how you'll find me. But on YouTube, it's Ileane Smith. So we made the last name easy since the first name was kind of tricky.
Yep.
So if you don't find me as Ileane on any platform, you'll find me as Ileane Smith. And with all that, just remember that every Saturday, I'm sorry, the first Saturday of every month, not every Saturday, but the first Saturday, because Deborah and I know our capacity, right, Deborah?
Exactly,
We
exactly.
we know our capacity and we know we can't do this every Saturday, but we can do it the first Saturday to jumpstart the month with our positive vibes and our great conversations. And I so appreciate you, Deborah, for the very first time you even invited me to join you, and now you're stuck with me.
But hey, I don't mind being I love being stuck with you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you, Miss Eileen.
So there you have it. You'll find us. Just look for hashtag social cafe. And the first Saturday, it will be 3 p.m. Eastern. And you can look at the flyer to do your translations for all your other time zones, because I can't always remember them all. And with that said, I wish you all to get monetized on no matter what platform that you're on. And I wish you the best. Bye for now, everyone.
Adios.